Ah, yes, beautiful people. Guys, it's the time. It's not just the top of this show. You guys know I've been talking this talk for weeks now, guys. It's time to just raise the vibration. It's time to get out of the theoretical into the practical. It's time to just to start doing more, guys. And when I'm talking about doing, I'm talking about spiritual elevation. I'm talking about reconnecting with Gaia. I'm talking about raising the vibrations. I'm talking about just creating the paradigm that we want to create. And the queen that we have on with us today, guys, is a I want to say I want to say the Harriet Tubman of bringing us into consciousness.
I think this is deep.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We're bringing power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Oh, blessed melanated rising, my people. Grand rising to all my fellow beings of love and light out there. I am so grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors who are present with us and for creating this opportunity for us to be able to be on here today. And I just ask that today's show, let it be very entertaining, let it be educational, let it be uplifting, and most importantly, let it be empowering for each and every one of our listeners out there today. And I'm sending out that spirit of love, light, unity, strength, great health, peace, and joy. Hotep, amen, ashe.
Ashe.
So that, people, you guys already know this is the Empower Hour. I hope you guys enjoy this type of conversation because this is what you guys get here. Stay tuned, party people, because this is what it is. You'll have more of this. We'll be back with Parley with the People. Stay tuned. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
Yes, that's what is coming to me right now, guys. So Queen Odessa, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being on Parlay with the People. Thank you for being with us on the Empower Hour. We're so grateful for having you.
Wow, what an intro.
It's I go with the energy, and I was like, do I say what's coming to me? I'm like, I'm gonna say it. It's coming. I have to let it out.
Yeah, I receive it.
Yeah, this is it. Because you know what they say. It's like using Harriet. Like she could have saved more, but more people they just weren't ready. They just didn't go. And I honestly feel we're in this time, Queen. You're bringing a message. You're bringing the energy. I'm sure you could save the entire planet if the planet was ready for it. But so those who have ears, let them hear. Yes. So Grand Rising, glad to have you on with us.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Good. So I like to do before we dive into the business and talking about what we're actually here to talk about. I'd like to take a moment just to give you a chance to introduce yourself to our listeners. For those who might not know who you are.
So my name is Odessa Thornhill. I am a multidisciplinary artist and wellness advocate. I was born and raised in Montreal to a musical family. And for those who knew me in those days, I was a singer. I still am a dancer, a poet. And I left to travel and sing with Cirque du Soleil and dance companies. And then I began studying natural medicine.
It's funny because you just kind of breeze over that, like as if Cirque du Soleil is not a big, huge, singing Cirque du Soleil just kind of because even and guys who are listening, like I was just with Odessa in another meeting, and she really just said, I left and I was performing with the circus. She didn't even say Cirque du Soleil. I meant. I was like, did she just do that? Just breathe. And I think that's what I was trying to remember. I was like, I feel there's something I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember. But anyway, now I'm saying it live on air with us here now. But so Queen, you deserve your flowers. You're doing big things. You've done big things. So please, I want to make sure that you put it in the right light. So yes, good. All right, sorry, you could continue. I'll digress. So yes, and you started in entertainment, now you transitioned into healing. So first of all,
Yeah.
why? Like why? What was the like is
So
like
so that's interesting. I actually had a really deep desire to become a doctor when I
okay.
wanted to become a surgeon. And I was turned away through experiences with teachers,
Oh,
teachers who project on you. I remember I was 17 and one teacher was like, Odessa, I'm scared of you. And she was mean.
wow.
And I'm like, that's not something you tell a teenager. She was a small Asian woman, but she was projecting on me as I look back a lot because
Mhm.
I didn't make any trouble in the class, but it really, and I had a rough year that year. So anyways,
Mm.
it turned me off.
Right, right.
Turned me off from math. And then, I just kind of tumbled around for a little bit. And so I went into to music. But what happened was when I had returned from Cirque du Soleil, the first tour, I came to a group called Community Vibes Collective. And
Mm-hmm.
this is
Shout out
right. And so
Jessa.
for those of you who know, right, shout out Jess, and for those of you who know the collective, there was something so spiritual about the way who the artists were,
Mhm.
who the musicians were, and how they brought that integrity to improvised music. We were touching on what inspired me to continue with
Mhm.
this natural healing work, right?
Mm.
So what I would say is when I joined Cirque du Soleil, I was then introduced to spirit,
Okay.
right? This is
Mhm.
where, I began to see like creativity. I began to see like color had sound.
Mm.
You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
I began to recognize it's a circus, first of all.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
First
right.
of all,
You're right.
but then my own intuition began to open up. And so then I became receptive to that. And so the combination of natural medicine
Yeah.
and music and spirituality, the three of them, they haunted me.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
really did. Like, what is that?
You're right.
And when you begin to look into deeper into spirituality, this is where the questions start to come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that, people who are quote unquote more Pentecostal feel a deep bubble in their belly? What
Yeah.
is that?
Right.
Right? Is
Yeah.
that Kundalini energy?
Mm.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is where some of these first questions were coming from. Why is it that when musicians come together and they play and they really get lost in it,
Mm-hmm.
even without smoking weed,
Yeah.
sometimes they feel like they're high?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that? You know what I mean?
Why? Yeah.
So with understanding this, these are the questions that I began to ask as I started studying. I started studying metaphysical science. I started studying natural medicine, and I was still performing. Now, what began to happen was I began to experience healing through performance,
Ah, nice.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
And not in a religious context, which was a whole other like, wow, how does this work? Because I started singing gospel, and one of the singers who I performed with, she had the ability, in some of her ministry moments of healing, and like when we're in the context of religion, you know what I mean, it's a different level of accountability, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't question it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here I was after learning energy healing, after learning, about the body, after, being professional and singing on stage for so long, now I'm singing. I'll never forget that day. And recently I contacted another artist and I was like, I need you to write this down because I need someone to confirm that this has really happened. Yeah, we were at a performance and we were in a bar and this couple were wild. They were wild on the floor. They were making noise. They were drunk. They were having a good time, but they were very disruptive. And I got on the mic and I began to hold one note just repeatedly. And I remember just looking at her and I put my hand out to her. And I tell you, that woman, she calmed down. She
Mm-hmm.
she sat down
Mm.
the rest of the evening.
Wow.
I was like, everyone was like, what did you do? Right? So for me, that was the first moment of like, wow, who are we?
You see, and but like you just hit it there. And what is kind of bubbling in my head is like, and going back to that community experience. And for those who don't know, it's like it's a collective where the artists are coming together, and you guys are basically like freestyling, right? But you would swear it's something that's been rehearsed and practiced the way it harmonizes and comes in and out, and that is spirit. That is what
Yes,
it is. And there's like and like as life is progressing, I'm realizing this more and more that like everything is spirit, because the whole
that's right.
goal that you have in life is yeah, you might want to you might it's good to have an idea of where you want to go, but how you're going to get there is that's the joy, and that's
That's
where spirit comes in. So as artists, you come together and you're like, yeah, we're going to perform tonight. We don't know what it is. Our intention is to give people an amazing show and an experience and uplift them. From when you put the spirit out, like the intention out, now the spirit is going to do the work. And so that's really what we're just watching. So listening to talk about like how the art works and how the music is really
yes.
like it's basically that spirit in another form, or
It
or in
is.
its form, so
It is, I mean, when we listen to music, like, or religious people will usually say, well, don't listen to this because, the energy, but it's true. You know what I mean?
mm,
You listen to certain things and you feel good, you feel bad, you're frustrated, it brings you deeper into your sadness, or you're elated and lifted up. We are spiritual beings, and the more we understand that nuance,
mm-hmm,
it makes your life decisions easy, a little bit easier. It
yeah,
makes the difficulty easier. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
It gives you a perspective that allows you to move with less fight and less resistance.
well said. Ah, man, Queen. And that I think that's perfect because that's a good segue, because the planet right now, guys, on one side for people, that's all they're seeing is
Yes,
resistance, is struggle,
yes,
is strife. But then there's another collective of people who are only seeing opportunity,
that's right.
green grass, like clear skies. So it's like
Hush.
and it's to understand what's happening, why it's happening, how it's happening, and you have awesome insight. So I'd like to kind of pick your brain for a little bit, just for you to share with the people in terms of just what's happening on the planet and why it's happening, and then how what you're doing can help us to
Did
bridge.
you ask me that question?
I really did. And it's like right here live but I have to, because I'm telling you, our listeners who've been following, they're like, yo, Pharaoh's on one, because I
Okay,
told you the other day, I'm wide awake. Sorry
okay,
guys. I'm
all right. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me set up the context,
Yes,
right?
please. Yeah.
So we are here now in the year 2023.
Right.
What we have to understand is what we experienced in 2020. First of all, many people will say that, the planets and the stars, they don't influence you, but they do.
Hmm.
Okay, like we're living on a planet, on a rock that revolves around a magnetic sun. Like everything is moving around. Like if you are a youngest child and you have 7 siblings, you're going to be influenced by your siblings. You know what I
Mm.
mean? We know for a fact that if the sun releases flares, we are going to feel it. So it's 1000% that if these planets have been moving around for billions, not millions,
Hmm.
billions of years, and
Hmm.
the same trajectory, right? With different variations for billions of years, and it's been documented by other people,
Hmm.
right? It's 1000% that it's going to influence us. So I have to say that whether you, to whatever extent, I'm not into horoscope, meet your future husband at the bus stop. No,
Right.
right? But it's about understanding, like these are the energies that's happening and what can and cannot be influencing. Okay,
Mm.
all of that to say, in 2020, when COVID hit, we were coming to a culmination of a 500-year astrological transit.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, there are transits that happen all the time, every 20 years, every 2 years, every 3 years. Mercury goes retrograde every 3 weeks. That's the
Right.
most frequent transit that we talk about.
Okay.
In 2020, we had transits that had not happened in hundreds and thousands of years,
Wow.
2,000 years, 4,000 years, which is why so many big things happened at the same time.
Mm.
In 1518, there was a particular conjunction between Saturn and Pluto that was at the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade.
Oh, wow.
The last time that particular conjunction happened
Wow.
was when gold became currency in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another transaction before that, but very big, huge transactions happened at that time.
Wow. Okay. And
Okay.
that's a good context. So now you guys understand what
Now
what
you see,
times are
you
and what's
see what I'm
happening.
saying? Because
Yeah.
like we're like you feel it, but you're like, I don't really know, right? And you're
Right.
seeing small things but you don't really know. So that's the first thing. So and I remember I booked that. I listened to what's happening astrologically. So the first person I listened to people. One person who I listened to, she has a PhD in sociology, right? So she's a political commentator who is also an astrological, you know what I
Wow.
mean,
Okay.
commentator. So
Right.
this is the kind of perspective that I'm getting. So this is what we have to understand. This is the context that we're in.
Got it.
So the other thing that happened was the US, that treaty that they signed in 1776,
Mm-hmm.
they had their return. So every planet, like the moment you're born, right?
Mm.
Every year you have a birthday because the planets return to the place that they were when you were born,
Wow. Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Some planets take longer, right?
Okay.
Saturn takes 30 years, which is why when you approach 30, you're like, oh my gosh, things are happening.
Right. Yeah.
And again, 60.
Okay.
Pluto takes 246 years.
Okay.
Okay. 2020, when that happened, up until this year, we've been experiencing the US having their Pluto return.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and this is why I'm trying to place the context so we can understand.
Okay.
Pluto is about deep, deep, deep transformation. Pluto is like, you want to hold on to the door? That's too bad. We're going to take your hand and the nails will be left in the door. It's that c'est grave.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
Pluto. It's
Okay.
death, transformation. And so what we've been dealing with Pluto is deep transformation and Saturn conjunct top down authority.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Top down authority meets deep transformation. And now Pluto and Saturn are transitioning. These are huge things that are happening now. So this is why we're waking up. Pluto is entering into Aquarius, the
Mm-hmm.
sign of the people, the sign of the water bearer. In my father's mansion, I
Mm-hmm.
am met with a man holding a pitcher,
Right. Yeah.
right? The
Okay.
water bearer. And
Right.
so now this is the planet, this is the sign of the people. This is the sign of
Wow.
innovation,
Wow.
right?
You
So
know, and not to cut you, there's something that is speaking to me because I remember speaking to somebody just recently about just chaos and then understanding that the example actually the I was watching a Gaia documentary and the guy with the example he gave was when you look at a train station and it looks like chaos because everybody's
yes,
just moving around, but they're
yes.
actually going to a destination.
Mhm.
Everybody's just going to the destination, and when they
That's right.
get there it seems more settled, and so what
That's
we're
right.
actually the reason everything's happening like this is because we're going somewhere, and so
That's right.
it seems chaotic, but this is
That's
what it
right.
is. So sorry, go
That's
ahead.
right. It's beautiful. The other image that I give is like when you look inside of a clock and you see everything changing,
Right, yeah.
and the different pieces aligning, and it's like, whoa, what's happening? Are we going to crash? No, we're not, right?
Right,
Like
that's it.
that type of thing, you
Yeah.
know. I remember when this happened in January, I was in class because I'm a nerd. I'm a forever student, and I remember hearing regime changes were happening, and I was like, do we recognize how big this is?
Mm-hmm.
Antigua, Barbuda, they sold Robert De Niro an island for 200 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's regime changes, things that are happening, and so everyone, the governments understand this. And who was it who said it? Millionaires don't need astrology, but billionaires do,
Wow.
right? It
Yeah.
was one of these guys who had said it, like real well known. And so when we understand this, now we can I can bring it down to a little bit more here today. This is where we have the quickening of the spirit.
Right, yeah.
This is where we have my intuition is starting to, I'm starting to hear people's thoughts now, or I'm dreaming more often. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Or let's vaccinate the children even younger.
Right, yeah.
Let's add a bit more chemicals to the food
Yeah.
because they recognize, and they being the elite, the government, like we need to stop pretending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They like when you really step back into this and accept the truth, then you begin to see, okay, this is the context of what's happening. And the government knows this. All these guys have had astrologers and spiritualists on their team.
100%.
Hitler, all of these guys, all these
Yep.
warriors would meditate
Yep.
before going out to war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and here we are thinking that it's devil stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? They
Mm-hmm.
use this information against us. So
Yeah.
we think that it's devil, it's evil,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because that's what they're using it for. So they'll present
Exactly.
it to us, but they're using it. The same quickening of spirit that you have, you know what I mean? The same ability you have, you know, to conjure with, and when I say conjure, this has nothing to do with, you know, black magic.
Mm-hmm.
This has everything to do with the innate ability of a person to be a miracle worker, just as the Christ was,
Mm-hmm.
right? When
Mm-hmm.
we stand in our heart-centered energy, we
Yeah.
begin to see and notice that we are the beacon. We are that. We can access that energy. Farah, you have me talking
Yeah,
here.
it's the real. And yo, I say it all the time. Those who have ears, let them hear. It's the time right now, guys. And people tune into the Empower Hour for these kind of things. So don't worry about that. Just take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of HJCourtierAuto.com. That's HJCourtierAuto.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to that next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other. Guys, again, and if you're just tuning in, I'm here with Queen Odessa. We're talking consciousness. We're talking where we're at on the planet, why we're here, and where we're going. So guys, yes, Odessa. So now, all right, we're giving people some context in terms of what's happening, why it's happening. So now let's transition a little bit in terms of what we're doing, to raise the vibrations, what your company is about, what you've been doing and stuff as well. And yes, and then we'll go into how people could participate in our next phases.
Right on. So I'll say what my company is. My company is called Cultivate Your Own. Cultivate Your Own Wellness would be the full phrase. And I primarily work to help people connect to their mind, body, and soul. So holistic health consultations, general health consultations for everyone, intuitive consultations as well. I specifically work with women who are experiencing reproductive health problems, who want to prepare for pregnancy, or are just looking to connect with their bodies, because I truly believe that the lineages of humanity are carried through the wombs of women. And when women are whole and well, we're able to teach the nation and raise a million minds that are healthy.
Mm.
So that's the work that
I
I
believe
do
in
in
that as well.
integrating
Beautiful.
nutrition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do this integrating holistic medicine, but using emotional, mental, spiritual medicine as well, not just, the traditional food, exercise, rest type of thing. We go very in depth.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, what I'm doing now, this particular initiative through OFC and other organizations, thanks again for allowing me to use the platform, I appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
is bridging together this aspect of performance, of presence, of energy, of healing, and teaching people how to connect to themselves deeply, to heal, that aspect of being your own healer, your own self-care guru,
Mm-hmm.
and then how this contributes to collective healing. More specifically for our melanated people, we're stuck.
Mm.
We're stuck in anger. We're stuck in blame, and we're pointing fingers. And there's a level of accountability that we need to take, that we
Mm.
need to take onto ourselves,
Mm.
and yeah, and so this is where I've arrived with
See,
this work.
I love what you're saying, and like last week on the show. I'm not sure if it was last week or week before. I'm losing track of time, but we were discussing the like what happened to us as gods on the planet, and I was speaking with Queen Kaya, and I was explaining the perspective of the fact that we intentionally, because of the fact that we're on the top of the planet, we put ourselves to sleep, and it's like we have to take a certain not have to, if we do, if we can accept the fact that we are actually in control the whole time, we actually put ourselves, like we let ourselves kind of go dormant just so we could experience life from this side of the totem pole, so to speak, but knowing that we're going to wake back up and come back into our greatness, that vex, that upsetness, that frustration that we have against the white community, so to speak, because a lot of, if keep it very plain, like we have a lot of black people who are just like, yo, and they're blaming the white people and saying this is what it is. That energy is preventing us from evolving.
That's
Because
right.
it's like we're not taking responsibility for our
That's
part, and it's really like we have, it's like the sooner we could do that, brothers and sisters, trust me, I know, and I'm not here to tell us that, kumbaya, forget whatever.
yeah.
I'm just saying, because it's in your best interest, if
That's
you
right.
want to evolve and become the
That's right.
superhuman that you're meant to be, and
That's
to
right.
evolve into your greatness. Letting go of that weight, and that weight is that anger, that frustration, that blame.
That's
And
right.
if you just embrace it, you might not even fully understand it, but if you ask your spirit to just
Mhm.
reveal it to you, you will get it. But it's
That's right.
just, I'm telling you, it's in your best interest.
Yeah.
And what we're doing now, and again, you're thanking the OFC for allowing you to come in. We're thanking you for what you're doing, because the goal is to create these platforms for people in the community who are seeking it, who would like to heal, who would like to understand, who would like to reconnect with themselves, who would like to evolve. This is
Yeah.
the opportunity that we're creating right now. Right.
Yes. All
So
right.
yes, sorry guys. You know how I get down. I'm
That's good. I'm like, you're pushing me over the ledge. Like I wasn't trying to jump.
I'm like, hold my
PG.
hand. We're jumping together. Let's go. So so this is what it is. So okay. So now we have the workshops are starting. So when you guys are hearing this, actually, we would have had our first session yesterday, technically, because this is coming out on Thursday on the radio, and the podcast actually is probably coming out like tonight or tomorrow. But the point is, they're starting. So it's Wednesdays, every second Wednesday. Right.
Mhm.
So the first session is March 8th. So like I said, you guys would have just missed that one. But the next one that you guys can participate in is the 22nd. Right.
Mhm.
And so now, can you just kind of walk us through what people can expect over the session? So we're looking at about roughly an hour and a half. I block out 2 hours. So
Hmm.
let's say from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. block that out. If it, if it's a little bit shorter, it's a bit shorter, but give yourself the time. So,
Hmm.
so what can we expect?
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come together and we're going to do a soul project,
Okay.
right? That's really what it is. It's a soul project. And each individual will have their own homework. I'm going to give homework, assign, work to do in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you may have, if you're already on this journey, you may be familiar with some of the work, and then there'll be nuances to it. And then we will be meditating as a group, as a collective. And then we will, I've asked for the extra half an hour so that we can have the time to discuss
Mm-hmm.
in case people have questions afterwards. Um, and so the important part is the experiential piece,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the doing the work and the meditative piece so that you can learn how to become familiar with your energy
Mm-hmm.
and how to become familiar with group energy. Something I want to say is I had a friend of mine join in one of my past cohorts,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, girl, I came in and I forgot to do all of my protection stuff before. And when you were bringing the group energy together, I decided to cloak myself because I wasn't protected,
You're like,
right?
okay.
And but people, there are people who think like that because
Right.
because remember, you also have Christians
Right.
or other religious people who don't want to be meditating because they believe that they can be attacked or
Yeah. Yeah.
taken over by demons.
Right. Yeah.
So what this is why I wanted to bring it up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because, and something I said to her is, first of all, the way that I approach this work so that it's accessible to everybody is that I'm heart centered.
Mm-hmm.
It's heart centered,
Mm.
right? Everyone can relate to that. Everyone can understand it. It's heart centered. Now, when you're truly engaging with heart energy,
Mm-hmm.
when you're truly engaging from the heart, you are protected
Mm.
and you are covered.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you step into the space of the heart and then you engage, you're engaging from a place of the heart. You understand? So the need to create your protection, all this and all that, it's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you projecting that you think you need to have protection?
Right. Yeah.
You see, which
Mm.
takes away from like a lot of other things. Example, like, being covered in the blood of Jesus. What does that mean? It
Right.
doesn't mean don't do it. I'm not taking that away from anybody. That's your
Exactly. Right.
tradition. That's what you do.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we understand Christ consciousness,
Mm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
Christ consciousness is about being heart centered primarily
Yep.
before accessing your all of your other energy that is God given, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
See, I
right.
know, like, and that what you're saying, it's like it's resonating, it's speaking volumes, guys, because it's like basically it's just saying that come with a put love first,
That's
put the
right.
intention of like put love first as the intention. Like, so whatever you're
Always.
doing, you're coming out to do this work, you're coming out to have this meeting, you're coming out to run whatever it is, you put love first and let that be your guide. It's
Right,
like you're I almost want to say you're unstoppable because it's
right,
like you're coming with the protection, you're coming with the strength. It's like you're sending it like in front of you. So even if
yes,
a person, and love is stronger than anything, so even if a person is coming with a different energy, like,
right.
and you're coming with that loving energy, it will, like, light will disperse the darkness, so to speak, you know what I
Always,
mean? Like,
always.
yeah, so that's it. Very.
And and just to clarify too, when you're coming from a place that is altruistic, because sometimes we get into, and I can say it because I remember thinking I was doing it, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the other piece too, because we get into like it's easy to coast with our spirituality as well,
Okay.
especially if you know that you can connect easily and come out of it, connect and
Right.
come out. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's easy to say, oh, I'm in it, and you're actually not as deep in it or
Mm.
touching it as you want,
Right.
right? And so
Ah.
this is where that whole idea of cultivation and cultivating your wellness,
Right.
because you got to go into it. Like when I connect to heart energy, my whole chest starts to resonate. I feel it vibrating. It starts to open up. Like you
Mm,
feel it in your body when you get to that point. Right.
nice.
So it's trusting what you're doing and knowing that you're doing it, but also honest and present enough to know that you need to go deeper.
Okay. Guys, this is gonna be powerful. So now, so some of the key things that I think is important for the for our audience to understand is that this is you're making a commitment. Once you join, you're participating over the next 7 sessions, correct?
7 sessions. Yeah.
7 sessions bi-weekly, guys. So
Mhm.
so this is something, and I love the concept is that we're coming in, we're building ourselves, coming to know things, and we're able to take it out into the world. And then as we go into the world, we absorb, we interact, and we bring it back to the collective.
That's
I
right.
love that concept because again, I'm here to build a nation, to build a a world. And so this idea of us being able to have a positive influence on our surroundings, I think is awesome. And then being able to take those experiences and bring it back to the collective and empowering the collective, I think it's just as awesome as well. So what are there other things that we need to keep in mind in terms of ground rules or things we need to know about the experience and stuff like that?
Yes, yes. So like you said, the first thing is that it's not a drop-in.
Right.
The first session will be kind of like a drop-in because it will give people the opportunity to understand the nature of
Mm,
what we're doing and
okay.
then commit for the rest of the sessions.
Okay.
It's a donation-based
Hmm.
program.
Okay.
Um, so so this is really you keeping yourself accountable to yourself,
Beautiful.
right? So that's the first thing. It's not a drop-in session. The second thing is if you are going to face difficulties in
Mm,
your life, your
mm-hmm,
personal shit is going to come to the surface.
mm-hmm,
Whenever you make the decision to engage in healing work or light work, period, what happens is you stir up the shadow because there's more light that wants to come up,
mm. I
right?
almost feel we got to say that one more time for people in the back.
That's right, right?
Because and like and in other words, it's like as let's say for example, use the example where you are asking God for strength and then you start going through things where it's like, yeah, I know you're gonna have to, you're asking for it, so you're gonna get it, but
That's
it's
right.
yeah, so you're gonna have to learn how to lift heavy things because you're asking for
That's
strength. So
right. That's
as
right.
you're yeah. Mhm.
That's right. And be aware of what you're asking for. Because was it strength that you needed, or maybe you just needed to learn how to think differently, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, so so
Right?
this is gonna do it because it's real stuff we're doing. We're gonna
That's
be
right.
really opening eyes, opening consciousness, and with that, it's like we're gonna see more, we're gonna reveal more, it's gonna draw in more experiences that
That's right. And it'll be subtle. Some things will be subtle and some things will be obvious. But the goal is that you allow it to come. You allow your awareness to receive it. And even if you do nothing to it, don't shut it out. And then return to the group. Don't allow that to stop you from returning to the group. Come as
mm,
you are, return to the group. That's what's important
mm,
because your presence in the group cultivates the energy, right? And
mm,
so when you're committing, spirit is committing at the same time.
okay.
Spirit, like I know for a fact that, like, we are agreeing to meet tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming there. The energy that I got is coming there.
Right.
Whoever else the energy has got is coming there. And if we don't show up at that time, the spirit will dissipate,
Right. Mm, mm.
right?
Okay.
Because that's the intention. So when we do it and we establish it and we anchor it, it builds.
I love that.
And then it builds again and it builds again. And so this is why it's so important, for us to be on time, not colored people time.
Facts. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
8
We
8
need to
8 p.m.
8
Eastern
p.m.
time, guys.
That's
For
right.
real. We're
We're holding
starting
ourselves.
punctual.
This is
But
it.
anyways,
We're
anybody who
holding
knows the OFC knows that I'm a stickler for that. I do like to respect
good.
time. I do like to,
Great.
like, and if we're not going to, I give a preamble. I'm like, a little heads up. It looks like we're going over time. And just
There you go.
do you guys allow me to? So just
There you
understand that,
go.
like in just respect for everybody, respect for everybody's time and for what we're doing and for respecting the spirit. That's how I look at it. It's like, let's, so sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it's good. That's it. I think those are
Okay.
the two main things is just be open to the conversation, be prepared to commit
Yes.
to the time, and know that difficult things will come up, and I'm available for email or
Mhm.
texting communication, or one-to-one support if you feel that you want to go.
Amazing. So guys, so one more time, can you give out the contact information? How to reach you directly, and then I'll share the email again for people to register who want to participate in the meditation sessions. Do we call it
Yeah,
do we call it meditation sessions, or you said something just now, you said soul, which
the souls of melanated folk, the
yeah,
souls of Black folk. It's like
yeah,
a healing
but
group.
yeah, but okay, that's what I was gonna say. So it's like, so we're doing, it's like a healing group session. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
okay, good. Yeah, because like, we want to coin it properly. All right, good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No,
So yeah,
thank
so
you.
your contacts?
So you can find me at www.cultivateyourown.com. That's my website. And all of my social media handles are Cultivate Your Own Wellness.
Beautiful. And for those who want to register to participate, just you can send us an email at ofcwecare@gmail.com. That's OFCWECARE. So it's ofcwecare@gmail.com. You could call us 514-651-4545. Check us out on the web, OFC community. I'm sure you actually even check on the calendar right now. The event is on the calendar with all the details. So just follow us, participate. It's going to be awesome. So as you guys know, this is Partly with the People, but we are on the Empower Hour show, and I always like to ask our guests, kind of put them on the spot, to leave us with some empowering words for our listeners. So Odessa, do you have some empowering words you'd like to leave with us today?
I would say to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself, because you only have one body.
Mm.
That's your first home,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and 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 we tend to make space for pain. We tend to make space for, illness, discomfort in our lives and in our physical, but we make space
Mm.
for them. We get excited for toxic things
Mm.
and
Mm.
toxic people, you
Mm.
know, and we're unable to manifest our highest selves. So if you don't take care of your body, who will? Take care of yourself.
Mm.
Take care of your being.
Self-care, self-preservation, and actually in the what was the discussion we were talking earlier today was also, I think there's a power in, like, you can't help anybody if you're not good yourself, like in other words, like, like, and our goal, we want to heal the planet, and we are a reflection of the universe in human
That's
form. By
right.
taking care of ourselves, we are doing that, right? So it's like, I'm excited for the times that we're in. I'm excited for what's happening. I'm excited that we're all on. Like I say it all the times, those who have ears, let them hear. The
Mm.
guys, family of light, who are tuned in, who have been trying to figure out where to go next and what to do. I'm glad to be able to be here to create some kind of beacon, to show you guys what's up and where we're at. So with that, again, Queen Odessa, thank you for being with us on Probably with the People.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing for the community and what you're doing for the planet. It's necessary. Gaia needs it, and appreciates it. And I'm just sending love and light to you and everything you're doing, and to our listeners. All right.
Kings and queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, black, and highly favored.